Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And we're back reacting to the star ratings from those other guys over
What took them so long?
Dude, I had forgotten what pay-per-view we were even doing today.
Me too,
And
honestly.
of course it is. Of course, WWE Deadline. Somebody pointed out in our comments last week when we did our star ratings on this that it wasn't branded NXT Deadline. It was branded WWE Deadline.
That's interesting.
I guess so. Maybe Peacock was like, you know what? This NXT branding is no good. Hey, I wonder if that has something to do with it because it's on Peacock. They're like, oh, no, CW is NXT. I don't know.
Yeah, that could be.
It could be. Could be something to that. Anyways, let's go ahead and dive into these. We've got 5 matches on the card, including 2 Irons Survivor matches. Of course, one by Obafemi. Are you ready?
I don't know. I don't feel good about this, but sure, go ahead.
I'm not going to, come back or anything, so we're here. You're going to do it. I don't even know why I ask if you're ready. It doesn't matter if you're
Doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. We're doing it anyways.
All right, here we go.
All right.
Match number 1. Obafemi won the Iron Survivor match over Wesley, Javon Evans, Nathan Frazier, and Ethan Page. The story here was that Eddie Thorpe was injured, although in storyline he staged his own injury to get out of the match and to get a title match without competing in it. They announced there would be a surprise replacement who turned out to be Femi. I'm really sad that we didn't get more of Dave's opinion on the whole Eddie Thorpe situation.
But he watches NXT. That's news.
That is true. Yeah, that is true. Unless Alvarez texted him that info.
That could be.
Femi, who had been off TV since losing the North American title, was booked as a monster as he does have that aura, particularly in a match with much smaller guys. It opened with Evans and Lee. They put a clock up during the match, so all the times were legit, with people entering every 5 minutes. It was all action during this period, lots of great moves, a few botches, and Lee got the pin using the ropes in 4 minutes 54 seconds. Everyone losing a fall then had to spend 90 seconds in a penalty box like in hockey. Frazier was next in. As good as Evans and Lee were, Frazier's speed made him stand out as different level. Evans did running dive over the top like Ricochet. But as much cool stuff as they were doing, the crowd wasn't that hot, probably because they know the finish wasn't coming anytime soon. Frazier did a tope as well. Page was in at 10 minutes. Frazier pinned Page with an inside cradle. Frazier used a Phoenix splash that hit, but Page, who wasn't hit, ran in and cradled Frazier. Page put Lee on his shoulders on the floor, and Evans hit Lee with a tope, with Lee taking a Doomsday Device bump on the floor. Femi was in at 15 minutes. Evans came off the top rope into an uppercut by Femi and was pinned at 16-14. Femi was just destroying everyone. Femi hit a powerbomb on Frazier, but Page pulled the ref out of the ring, which played out later. Evans did a dive off the top of the penalty box on several guys. Evans pinned Lee at 18-40 with an Oz cutter. Everyone was super kicking Femi. Page cradled Femi at 21-17. So Page was in the penalty box with Femi at the same time. They played it as Evans being scared to death. Page being scared to death.
It's Page, yeah.
He was basically in tears trying to get out.
Yeah.
Femi beat on Page until Femi was released. With 90 seconds left, Page and Evans had 2 pins and the other 3 had 1. At 24:49, with 11 seconds left, Femi chokeslammed Frazier and Lee at the same time to move up to 3 pins. Evans hit an Oz cutter on Femi at that point. Time ran out before he can get a pin, leaving Femi as the winner. There we go. A lot of description, but you had a little bit. I'm sorry. Yeah, a lot of description, but you had some editorializing.
Yeah. He seemed to enjoy the action. Did mention the crowd wasn't exactly hot for the match per se.
At least at the beginning, I guess.
At least beginning. He said a couple rough spots, but by and large, quality action.
Quality action.
I'm going to say he gave it 4 stars.
So close.
It's a 4 1/4.
4 1/4. He's on his quarter kick, dude.
He is.
He's on a quarter kick, Larson.
Dave is not a member of No Quarter Catch Crew, huh?
That was a pretty good one, actually. All right, man. Are you ready to go underground, Larson?
I'm ready to go 0 for 5. Let's do it.
All right. Hey, you'll be just like me last week.
That's true.
Are there going to be a little brief interlude here? There's going to be a couple of switches coming up, aren't there? Because there's Saturday night's main event. That's me. World's End is you.
Yeah.
Raw on Netflix is me.
And then there's nothing till the Rumble.
No, there's Saturday Night's Main Event 2 on January 25th.
So that's me. Then Rumble's you.
Rumble's me.
And then
Is there
Elimination Chamber.
Wow.
And then Revolution.
And then I get back. So once the chaos of the Open of 2025 is done with, I'm back on AEW.
Oh dear.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to Raw Underground. Lola Vice beat Jada Parker in an Underground match. It was almost done as Pro Wrestling Parker versus MMA Vice, but each did a little of the other as well. Parker slammed her back on the ring frame. Parker also did some nice combo striking and a spinning back fist. Vice went for a spinning back fist, but her forearm and hand hit the post, so Vice sold it for the rest of the match. Parker worked over the right hand, including tying up the hand with Vice's Taekwondo black belt and pulling it into the post. Vice came back using the black belt for clotheslines. Vice won via back fist with the bad hand, but sold it big and used a gator roll into an anaconda, and the ref stopped it when Parker went out.
That's it?
That's it. That's all he gives it.
No editorializing?
Not really, no. No. Mm-mm. No,
I mean, at least you understood what the story of the match was. I got that.
He did break that down. Yeah.
I'll say I gave it 3.5.
Buddy, he's on a quarter kick, man. 3 3/4.
Same thing every time. Always a quarter star off. Always.
So close, my friend. Well, you know what? I feel like those two might have informed you a little bit better as to what to expect coming up. So I feel like you're going to get like this one here. Nathan Frazier and Axiom retain the NXT Tag Team titles over Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights. Frazier had hit. Now, remember one thing to remember. I'm just going to throw this out there for you, and that's all the help I'm going to give you. Dude loves Frazier. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Like, kind of low key. He's like, oh, man, he could have gone to AEW. Like, I think he really wanted him to go to Ben Carter to stay in AEW.
I think he wanted Ben Carter to stay in AEW. Yeah.
All right, so here we go. Frazier had his ribs taped up. Work as was planned to sell, having wrestled a hard match. Oh, work as was planned to sell, having wrestled a hard match. Jeez. And his nose taped up, not planned. It was ridiculous how much Bourne looked like a smaller and younger version of Randy Orton with the trunks and tattoos. Do you think he should rebrand himself or repackage himself a little bit? Because it is striking.
It is striking. Yeah. Especially before he goes to the main roster, unless his gimmick's going to be Randy Orton's younger brother.
Right. Heights and Axiom did some great grappling. Frazier was selling the ribs. Lucian Price and Bronco Nima came out to watch. Axiom and Frazier both did topes. Heights did an overhead suplex on Frazier over the top rope onto Price and Nima. Heights did an overhead suplex in the ring on Axiom and a Dominator on Frazier. All right, here we go. Frazier was on the floor for the next few minutes, selling the beating from both bouts, and Axiom went at it alone. Axiom was selling. Fans were chanting RKO when Bourne was in. Frazier hot tagged in and did a running flip dive on both and a 450 on Heights for a near fall. Heights did a German suplex on Frazier, and Bourne did a high dropkick and powerbomb. He did the dropkick Orton style as Axiom came off the top rope, although not as good as Orton. He's obsessed. He's obsessed with the Orton connection.
Can Miles Bourne do anything and not have it be compared to something Randy Orton does?
Apparently not. They traded near falls with great heat. Finally. With great heat until Axiom hit a Canadian Destroyer out of nowhere, and then Axiom cradled Bourne for the pin. That's all you get.
No editorializing?
Great heat.
Great heat. Well, that's something.
Yeah, great heat.
I mean, I thought this match was better than the men's Iron Survivor match.
Yeah.
As did you. I believe you
Agreed.
both gave it.
I think this was match of the night for us.
He gave it. He gave the men Iron Survivor match 4 1/4. I don't think he's gonna go 4 3/4 on this one, but maybe he'll go 4.5. So I'll say 4.5. Did he go 4 3/4?
You know, dude, you're supposed to be the smart one of us. And I've told you 2 times now, he goes quarter stars. 4 3/4, Larson.
He went 4 3/4 on this?
He loves Nathan Frazier, bro.
I didn't think he would go that high.
There was no editorializing in that. If he had used one phrase, this was a great match.
Yeah, I might have thought about
right?
4 3/4. Yes.
Oh man, yeah, he went high on that one, huh?
I mean, it was really good.
All right, man. Let's rally. Let's rally. Let's rally. Trick Williams retained the NXT title over Ridge Holland in 15 minutes and 50 seconds. Williams was selling his neck early based on the DDT on the announcer's table and hospitalization angle on the Go Home show. Williams posted Holland and did the zigzag. Holland came back, throwing him around and working over the neck, including a neck breaker and crossface. What is with the lack of editorializing for this NXT show?
You know, sometimes he'll do... Overall, compared to years past, he's really light in the editorializing and the write-ups, but sometimes he'll do some for every match in the show, and sometimes he'll do basically none. I don't know.
All right, well, here we go. Here's one line for you. Holland missed a splash and Williams used a spin kick. Both threw kicks at each other and went down at the same time. The spot didn't look good. Holland threw Williams into the ring steps. Williams did a back body drop off the announce table. Williams ended up getting his neck caught in the ropes. Holland followed with an implant DDT.
I'm shocked he didn't write anything more about the Foley spot.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. The finish saw Holland run into the post and Williams used a spinning kick and jumping knee, the trick shot for the clean pin. You got to wonder if Meltzer's keeping track of who's in the hot seat, and maybe he doesn't like you, man. Maybe he sees you as being a threat to his old jacked man persona in wrestling media. He thinks you're coming for him, dude.
I'm going to go 2 3/4 stars.
Oh, man. You're on the right path, buddy, but it's 3 1/4.
He went that high?
Yeah, he did.
Wow.
Yeah, kind of surprised.
I'm surprised he went that high.
Kind of surprised. It did. I'll say this, though. He likes heat, and this match did. The crowd was hot for this match.
The crowd was into it, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Here we go.
Ugh.
Last match. Last opportunity. This is a big-ass write. This is the longest write-up of the batch. It's on par anyways. Yeah, it's longer than the men's.
Just search for the editorializing. I know what happened.
Okay. All right. I'm going to do that. Julia won the Iron Survivor match over Stephanie Vaquer, Ren Sinclair, Zarya, and Soluruka. He starts out with some editorializing.
Great!
Julia went the distance and did a great job, kind of, keeping everything in check. Whoa, wait, hold on, back up. How do you do a great job kind of doing something?
I don't know. It's confusing to me.
She started with Sinclair, who the crowd got into because of her outgoing personality.
All right.
Zarya suplexed Julia and Ruka at the same time. They tried to get her over as the powerhouse, but it didn't work as well as it did with Femi. Here we go. Ruka did a space-flying tiger drop. Ruka has so much potential once her experience catches up. She should be main roster star because her athleticism is great and she's got natural charisma. I guess they've ditched the spots where she walks on her hands. Anything unique like that should be kept. That was more of a tangent, but it shows that he appreciates.
Did he not see the video of her getting in her Jeep, walking on her hands?
Well, I think he wants to see that on main.
He wants to see her getting her Jeep, walking on her hands on main roster?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, that's my extrapolation here.
Yes.
All right, let's move on here. They had Vaquer versus Julia and tried to push it as a big confrontation, but Zarya returned at that point to break it up before they did anything. Okay, Ruka did more acrobatic moves, including a buckshot lariat on Vaquer and Julia at the same time, which looked really cool. Zarya hit a 450 on Julia, and Sinclair pinned Ruka in 24-22. So with 38 seconds left, everyone had one pin. They never explained the rules of what happens with the tie, which at this point they probably needed to just for announcer and match credibility. I don't know if they've ever explained it, but it needed that at this point. I'm assuming it would go on a sudden death. Zarya hit an F5 on Sinclair, but Julia then used a flying knee on Zarya for the pin at 24-45. Vaquer was going for pins on Julia, trying to beat the clock, but time ran out. The finish came off really well. He gave you that little parting piece there, man. The finish came off really well. What star rating did Dave Meltzer give this match?
So we both had this, I believe, is the highest rated match on the show for us.
Probably 4.5 or so.
I'd had 4 1/4. I think you were 4.5. Yeah.
What did you give the Frazier match?
4.
Okay. Okay.
I feel like there was more criticism of this match in the write-up in terms of the details. And it's not that he was bashing it by any stretch, but this feels like he'd mentioned something, be critical of it in a couple instances, which is more than he did for most of the card.
Yeah, he didn't give you much for the card. He did punctuate it by saying the finish came off really well, though. And he started by saying Julia went the distance and did a great job, kind of, keeping everything in check.
Yeah, kind of keeping everything in check. Really talked up Sol Ruka.
Sol Ruka. Yeah, he loves Sol Ruka.
All right, I'm going to go with a quarter-star increment. I'm going to say he went 4 1/4.
Yes, you got it, man. You got it. Look at you. You listen to me, and you're going to be a winner.
Hey, I got one more than you did last time.
You know, I just fucking celebrated for you, and then you throw that at me. What the fuck is your Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, celebrate. Come on.
You got no, you have a long way to go when it comes to learning the value of friendship. Okay, I just celebrated.
No, celebrate. You
for
said you wanted to celebrate.
No, and then you rubbed it in my face.
Do it
you
better
rubbed
than
my
you.
face in shit. You rubbed it in shit. I'm not celebrating.
Celebrate me.
Nope, not gonna do that. I'm gonna drink.
Yay,
my
Larson.
second.
I did good.
Larson, no way.
Yes, Larson.